Chapter 13. Bandits Again. After taking the supplies from Scott's supply units, Khyber headed east and his army began to regain its strength. Khyber travels to the deep forest of Inzam to get information from a group of bandits who he believes kidnapped Mokuba. He's finally realised that Mokuba is missing. Khyber plans to capture the bandits and then force them to tell him everything they know. Red 2 standing by, all four lit and in the green. Welcome back to YuGiOh the Falsebound Kingdom, and we have quite a bit of work to do. We have some new monsters to get. It'll probably be with Bones' force, and we have a familiar face to battle. Bones is coming into this chapter, so yes, you know what this means. The chapter is titled Bandits, Bones is involved, everyone's favourite American is back. We are fighting Bandit Keith, and to be honest, I'm sticking with these teams because they've been immensely solid. I will probably rejig things for Rex's team a bit later on, because Rex can actually use a new fusion soon. I will have to do a little bit of reading up on where we wind up finding some of the monsters in the chapter after this, because it's mostly liberation, but there is one battle we can wind up taking on outside of liberating various places. Now this one is a bit tricky. I will demonstrate why when we get to the battle. There's really not much we need to do in terms of preparation. These teams are incredibly solid, so we can pretty much move on and get rocking and or rolling. Let's prepare ourselves for the battle with Bandit Keith. Round 2.
Oh no! Khyber again? Haven't you had enough? I'm ready to be the star of the show and you're interrupting everything. Bandit Keith is gonna take over in America and everywhere else, because we all know that every country in the world belongs to America.
Just give up now, boss. You don't stand a chance, trust me. I mean, you've barely managed to get any popularity.
Shut up! What makes you think I'd listen to a third-rate fighter like you? I'm gonna break through your forces and escape again, Khyber, no matter what I have to do. I'll probably wind up breaking through all guns blazing on a flaming motorcycle like a proper American action star. Oh yeah!
Go ahead, try.
I'll take what I need from you by force if I have to.
So, we actually have to take out Bandit Keith's team, but we don't want to take out Keith himself. We have to go in between Bertos and Rotten Hub, and Weevil should probably move out and face those opponents there, because Weevil will be fighting in the forest. Weevil will have a bit of an advantage in the forest. I think this is a forest anyway. So basically what we have to do is not kill Bandit Keith's team. This is probably a little more difficult than we think, because Keith will be plugging away at us quite fiercely. He will basically come straight for us, trying to take us on, so I will probably have to do a lot of running, because of course we do actually have to wind up taking on... We have to wind up taking on the special team here. Whew, basic insect off the bat. Because we can actually wind up finding a few monsters in between Bertos and Rotten Hub. But we also have to, as I said, we have to avoid taking out Bandit Keith. We have to wipe out his allies, and we have to find those monsters, so we have to do a lot of running. Right, now let's start softening that one up, and if I get the next attack... Alright, so I don't mind if that one goes, but I've got to go next. Of course I didn't! That's really, really frustrating. In all fairness, this entire mission is incredibly frustrating. You've just got to be able to get everything going right. It's just... Yes, thank you, my ant. That takes out a very big threat. The fusion of Marvelous and Wing Eagle is frustrating to deal with sometimes, especially since it seems to, the AI just seems to love using it. I'll probably have to put Oh, thank you. Thank you. See, this is what I was talking about in the last episode. The AI gets certain perks that give it a big advantage. It's not the most troublesome thing in the world, but it can be a bit of a nuisance. Still, this one will at least give us something to talk about in terms of the monsters we meet. I'll probably have to put a lot of stuff in the next mission's conversation, because there's a lot of wandering around and I think a lot of repeat battles. Too much to ask for basic insect to be able to attack. Well, we'll pile on the pressure and just keep beating away. This one gets really, really frustrating when you don't get the right turn order, because like usually in turn-based strategy, the turn order is actually very clear, but the game tends to jumble things. I've spoken about it at length, and it is infuriating. I mean, it can't heal anymore, that's a big advantage. And the fact that we are in the forest has given us a major advantage. Why? Where's Hercules Beetle's turn? Basic Insect has got two fairly quick turns in succession, and Hercules Beetle is just sitting there. Thank you. Yeah, I wish there was a really clear way to actually determine what the turn order was supposed to be, but it does seem to jumble itself quite a lot. It's enough. Right, we might actually be able to take Marvelous out of the fight after all, despite all the hardships. Sending Weevil out to fight in the forest was actually a smart idea. Man, Marvelous has really got it in for big insects. I mean, fire is super effective against bug after all. Ooh. I'll use basic insect to heal because Hercules Beetle has got a bit more oomph. Right, now you get to feel how frustrating it is, except I beat the crap out of you, even though you could heal. Okay. Let's wait a bit. Alright, let's give it its antacid tablets. That's admittedly the first thing I thought of. Well, we hit, did we? No, we did take it out. Well done. Fight at your advantage. Well done, Weevil. That's probably not a sentence you're going to hear very often. So there we are. We've taken out that part of Kaiba's team. Alright, so Rex can defend against... Maybe... Oh, actually, I'd better retreat. I need to put up a barricade. Because Rex does not have very much oomph. Definitely need to put up the barricade and should probably put up a healer. Alright, so it's going to be Pegasus taking this one out. Might switch to Labyrinth Ruler. Actually, retreat and switch to Labyrinth Ruler. Mavericks does eventually get a special attack that hits all enemies. But I don't think we have to worry about that just yet. And Pegasus' team is a bit more powerful on top of that. Rex is capable, but his team doesn't hit very hard in return. Like I said, war of attrition. So if I had someone who used spirit attack, who had spirit monsters, because I think the only person who actually used a spirit was Mokuba. Yeah, we are a little stuck in some respects. But we will persevere. There's nothing that really lets us hurt beast monsters, unfortunately. Let's... Really gotta just plan the attacks. Because I don't think Dark Chimera has attacked yet. So next time I'll just pour all of my fury onto that, and we'll see how we go in terms of healing. But yeah, these teams like this with Mavericks and Wing Eagle tend to show up a lot in the late game, and they are incredibly annoying. Mostly because Mavericks and Wing Eagle get fairly high AP, and they tend to have polymerization on hand, so if you do eventually wind up beating them up, they'll just fuse and you have to go through the monster they make, Crimson Sunbird, all over. That was weird, I hit the A button and the B button in quick succession. Okay, so if I torch Dark Chimera... Might be able... Got the KO. But then again, I might lose Bakuri Box. Depends on what the AI does. Yeah, I'm probably going to lose Bakuri Box unless somehow the turn order is kind to me. The turn order was very kind to me. That is very strange. So yeah, I really should have... I don't know why Mavericks didn't get to move next. It probably should have been its turn. I'm honestly struggling to work that out. But then again, there are lots of vagaries of games that are quite difficult to work out. But that's probably why it's so fun when you do get those people who actually try and find out as much information about the game after its release. I prefer that situation. I prefer having information be discovered after the release, a few years after, as we start to build into the games and find out all those fascinating ways in which they work. Because finding out all the ridiculous things you can do in Super Mario 64 because of its janky early game engine is absolutely phenomenal. There are so many ways it's been deconstructed, so many weird things you can do that make it such a worthwhile experience. It's bizarre, but it's so much fun at the same time. Like, all the stuff that's been discovered with all the parallel universe stuff and the beat the game with as few A presses as possible, and all the glitches you can pull off because of the nature of the game engine. This was understandably early stuff for 3D gaming. So yes, it's flawed, but you really have to go out of your way to break it. It's kind of like Pokemon. There are obvious bugs in Red and Blue. There are obviously things where the game doesn't work properly. focus energy doesn't work as intended. The critical hit mechanics are broken. There's the 1 in 256 glitch that actually means even the Master Ball can fail. That is the one time the Master Ball can actually fail. Alright, so we're looking to pull back from this battle. And then have Labyrinth Ruler take the next one. I need to find where Bones is on top of that. But yeah, the really, really, really fiddly stuff is actually... It's actually more a case of no sane person is ever going to run into this. Alright, Labyrinth Ruler's taken that. Very nice. Bones' team is still just sort of wandering along. We should be able to knock this one out. I'll put some profiles in. Insect Queen made its international debut as a collector tin promo before appearing in Dark Beginnings 2 and showing up a few more times in re-release sets. In Japan, it debuted as a promo for the game we know as Dark Duel Stories. Insect Queen is a pretty big and bad bug with some fairly powerful abilities. She is best used in combination with cards like DNA Surgery, which force all monsters to be treated as a specific type. She'll get a lot of power out of that, and you can actually hinder your opponent with some good support cards. Unfortunately, her token summoning effect is a bit impractical, even if it helps her attack, but free of the limits imposed upon her card, Insect Queen can be capable enough in this game. Maybe not one of the most powerful cards in all of Duel Monsters though. Larvae Moth made its international debut in Metal Raiders, and for some reason it reappeared in Dark Beginning 1. In Japan, it debuted in Volume 5 and reappeared more times than it needed to. 1 is more times than it needed to, in all fairness, because who in their right mind thought this card was a brilliant idea? This is one of the crappiest, least practical, and downright stupidest cards in the entire game. Why would you give up a petite moth with 2000 defense for this piece of junk? It's completely and utterly useless. Its palette swap Needleworm is so much better. Now when it comes to this game at least, Larvae Moth takes Petite Moth's role. Use Cocoon of Evolution on this monster as soon as you get it, and you won't regret it. Maybe you'll regret having to chase down the monsters while fending off Bandit Keith though, but that's okay. Queen of Autumn Leaves made its international debut and only appearance in Tournament Pack 2. In Japan, it debuted in Booster 4. Sadly, this monster is rather hard to find and not very good at all. There are plenty of 4-star monsters which are better. I do like the art quite a lot, and autumn is a very lovely season, with plenty of beautiful colours in the leaves as they change and fall from the trees, so I do have a bit of fondness for this card, all things considered. And she will be very useful in this game since her attack confuses opponents by default. According to lore, this monster is the wife of Green Phantom King, which appeared in Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon. There are also palette swaps in terms of art. She also has the highest attack of all normal plant type monsters, and evidently that is not a very high bar at all. So we got a really good example of artificial stupidity during that battle. Let's see. Kaiba's team might be able to sneak off to Razik's. But we got a very, very good example of artificial stupidity when that last battle was occurring, because, well, the thing was, basically, Labyrinth Ruler's team could have lost Labyrinth Tank if the AI had actually bothered to wind up attacking with Wing Eagle, but it chose the Wait command instead, which subsequently meant... Alright, what do we actually have in Saxos? We're going to have to just ward off Bandit Keith for a while. Nothing special. So Bones is almost down there. We really needed a flyer.
I'm gonna get away, just watch me. I'm not gonna let anyone stop me.
So we're going to have to just retreat for a while. We're going to have to push Bandit Keith's forces back. So you're going to see a lot of this until I can get Bones to wind up finding that team down south. This is going to take a long time, so let's keep introducing monsters. Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth made its international debut as a promo for The Sacred Cards, then in Dark Beginning 2. In Japan it debuted as a promo for their game titled Dark Duel Stories, then in compilation sets. And this card actually debuted on my birthday in 1999, 2 weeks before the cards which had needed to be summoned were released in Volume 4. Nice timing, Konami. Anyway, modern support cards make summoning this considerably easier, since as Yugi showed in the manga and anime, it's possible to interrupt the lengthy and boring process of waiting for 6 of your turns to actually summon this thing. It might have been easier in the early days, but it still wasn't very practical. Now, I did say this was the strongest insect in terms of overall stats, but Ultra B-Trooper Absolute Hercules does actually surpass that, so I'm a bit wrong there. Sorry about that. I didn't know that thing existed when I wrote all these. Barrel Dragon made its international debut in Metal Raiders and has reappeared several times since. In Japan, it debuted in Volume 7 and has also been fairly prominent. Now, the laser cannons may look cool enough in the international art, but in Japan this card is known as Revolver Dragon and references Russian roulette. Its hefty 6 guns pack a punch whether in battle or activating its effect, with the added bonus that because its actual effect is to toss coins and then destroy something if you're successful, it circumvents anti-destruction effects like Stardust Dragon. This is one of my favourite cards in the entire game, so I'm always very pleased to use it. While it starts out a little slow in terms of AP in this game, it will get blasting in no time and does get fairly solid stats. There's even a pretty good deck build, focused around various dark machines and cards Bandit Keith used, which can use this card very well. Launcher Spider made its international debut in Metal Raiders, then reappeared in compilation sets. In Japan, it debuted in Volume 7 and their version of Metal Raiders. Now, I do have to be pedantic for a moment here because Launcher Spider actually has 6 legs, not 8. The anime actually did make that clear. Inaccuracy of its physiology aside, Launcher Spider isn't entirely horrible and does have some pretty cool artwork all told. There are better monsters out there, but it's not too bad. It's also able to be summoned in Forbidden Memories by using Metal Morph on YuGiOh, which is an interesting bit of trivia. Massive defense boost for YuGiOh. Its counterpart, BM4 Blast Spider, supports dark machines like Barrel Dragon, whereas this is a fire attribute machine. Slot Machine made its international debut in Spell Ruler as a super short print. I've said it before, but those are cheating. It's appeared a couple more times though. In Japan, it debuted in their version of Magic Ruler as an ultra rare. In the card game, Slot Machine obviously didn't have a great spin on its dials, since its stats aren't that great. It can be quite dependable here, but card-wise it wasn't too flash given how annoying it was to find at its initial release. In the manga, 7 Completed seems to work specifically with Slot Machine, powering up either its attack or defense. Fortunately, it can support any machine in the card game, so it's quite a practical equip card. At least this monster is fairly interesting lore-wise, but while it's not great in the card game, you're going to get a lot of good service out of it here. I think I might have let Bones go a bit further than halfway. And Bandit Keith is so persistent. You know what? I'm actually going to fight. I've got to buy more time. Because I have absolutely no bloody idea where on earth... I think I messed up a fair bit on getting... getting exactly halfway. But I've got to try and soften Bandit Keith up so he can be stunned for a few seconds. This is going to be a grind fest. I might not even kill any of his monsters. I just have to score better than he does so that I can actually stop him bothering me. I need to actually make him stall for a while and sort of waste time healing so that I can dish out more damage to it and so that I can actually have more time to try and find those monsters. Because this is a nightmare to do. I needed a faster team. I need some really fast monsters, and I know I'm going to be able to look for them again. I know I will be able to go through this again and try and find those monsters. But boy, this is a nightmare, trying to actually get through it all. I just have to do as much damage as possible, force him to heal, and really soften his monsters up. Because they've got very high HP, but the AP overall isn't fantastic. So if I can just force them to do a bit of damage, heal myself when I need to, and just start softening these morons up, I might be able to get through with a bit of an advantage. I have to at least win the fight. I've got way more AP. Keith hits a bit harder, but if I can drain the AP of Barrel Dragon and Launcher Spider, which don't have great AP to begin with, I should be able to knock them around, knock one of them out of the fight, and eventually get in a much better position. At the moment, it's pretty tight. I think that attack missed. So, no, it did miss. Slot Machine has great... it's the strongest of the lot. So once it attacks, I need to start focusing all my firepower on it again. Right, because if I can knock that one out, since it's got the most AP, I've got an advantage. Jeez, two-headed King Rex. Coming in strong. So, basically it's just soften them up, do as much... Right, Barrel Dragon's out of AP. This is such an irritating mission. Trying to find those monsters in the forest is a pain in the ass. It's so bothersome. I don't even think I got to the right spot. I think I went a bit further ahead because I couldn't get to just the right spot because Bandit Keith won't stop charging in headlong, trying to shoot everything. Ugh. It's so annoying. It is unbelievably annoying. Let's heal King Rex. Annoyingly, Urubi's HP is not that great. But admittedly, the reason I've got Rex involved in this one is that Rex basically can soak up a few attacks here and there. And he doesn't... Wait, has this thing got lucky or something? No, it's just got Wasteland Adept. It's dodged 3 attacks in a row. Two-headed King Rex. You're living up to the king, man. Admittedly, it's literally two-headed king, but... So... Basically, this way, we'll essentially force Slot Machine to heal. And... See, because we've won this on points, we now get more time for Bones to explore. I don't want to knock launch a spider out of the fight because it's got less AP. It's basically the plan to try and take out the one with the most AP. Because then, when it comes to later fights, I have a much easier time. It also doesn't help that Slot Machine is the strongest. So because I've won the fight on points, like a boxer, Bandit Keith is now stunned for a few minutes. Well, a few seconds, sorry. Rex gets a little bit of experience, and this is going to be so good for grinding. Good! Found them! Well done, Rex, you bought enough time.
And we'll get that shield down. We've got to give him more time.
And there we are, in the Forests of Endor. We face Queen of Autumn Leaves, Insect Queen, that's one of the most powerful cards in all of Duel Monsters, and Larvae Moth. Larvae Moth actually had... Wow, oh shoot! Those stats though. So, Cocoon String poisons. Queens in Royal Jelly give all team monsters a power up. Chilling Winds confuses enemies so they can only use normal attacks. Right, well we want to lock that one down. Now, Larvae Moth, when you use Cocoon of Evolution, can become perfectly ultimate Great Moth off the... Oh crap. So, Queen of Autumn Leaves has Status Guard. That's a bit of a nuisance. But don't worry, we can lock down the other monsters. But yeah, Larvae Moth is actually the form of Petite Moth which you can summon if you tribute Petite Moth equipped with Cocoon of Evolution after 2 turns. It can't be normal summoned, and it has 500 attack and 400 defense. It sucks! It absolutely sucks! It's one of the worst cards you could ever think of. It's mind-bogglingly awful. There is absolutely no point to having it in your deck. Great Moth is awkward enough to bring out. Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth is incredibly difficult to bring out, but when you do, if you use Cocoon of Ultra Evolution, it just hits hard. I think it is actually, maybe apart from that Insect Fusion, which requires 4 monsters and its long and complex name I forget, it is a very powerful card. It will beat over a lot of things, but it has no special effects. Alright, so 2 of their teams locked down. They don't like the snake hair. So yeah, let's take out Insect Queen. Now, Insect Queen and Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth may be, quote, I quote, one of the most powerful cards in all of Duel Monsters, but let's not forget Jeff Goldblum. He's one of the most powerful cards in all of Duel Monsters too. Apparently stronger than Exodia. Alright, we should be able to take the upper hand. Queen of Autumn Leaves is a nuisance, but the fact that I can just lock down the other monsters and I've got so many AP to play with, it's a big advantage. Okay, yeah, Armored's... Yeah, she's probably doing the smart thing, trying to lock down my team. Alright, 1 down. There we are. let's keep piling the pressure on Larvae Moth. It's basically got a poisonous string shot. It's kind of like a weird hybrid of Caterpie and Weedle, except it just sucks in the card game. It'll still be reasonably useful. It just mostly exists to... It mostly exists to be fodder for Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth. Alright. Let's pile on the pressure there. And... well, that'll keep it locked down. Very nice. That's 2 down. Like, as soon as I get Pumpkin on this team, oh boy. I give Pumpkin, like, Violet Crystals, its special attack becomes utterly worthless. But we do get a really, really good team. Yeah. I only need red medicine. I do have a Dianketo just in case. We have this in the bag. I mean, look at the score! That's phenomenal. And now it actually looks like a zombie. It's sort of got that green, decayed, icky skin. That's actually a pretty cool look. Negative mode works really well. But yeah, I didn't realize Queen of Autumn, or at least I didn't remember Queen of Autumn Leaves got status guard. I'm not sure if some fusions get status guard as well. But yeah, we've got this fight on lockdown. Like, Armored Zombie's just that good. It's just that powerful. It's absolutely phenomenal. I don't even mind that the snake hair missed. Total wipeout. Well done, Bones. I think I sent the right team. Hey, look at that. The experience. Well done, champ. Now we can try and beat the crap out of Bandit Keith because we have Insect Queen, Queen of Autumn Leaves, and Larvae Moth. Rex bought me enough time. So I'm going to let him continue to try and beat the crap out of Bandit Keith. Let's just hammer away. If I get all of my... This might not work as well as I've planned. How well will I go? Okay, so... Alright, so I'll force another one of them to heal by attacking Launcher Spider. I probably should have killed Launcher Spider in all fairness, but I didn't know how long it would wind up taking me. Let's attack Slot Machine because they're already in the zone. I think once the monster drops below half, they will wind up healing it. The next healer that goes will actually get to do that. Alright, so that's chosen to wait. We just have to use our attacks at the end game to our advantage. But we're not running anymore, we're just going to have to fight. And I really want to prove my point that Rex can do this. Even if this is a drawn-out slugfest, I believe in Rex Raptor. Which is also not a very common sentence. I mean, Bandit Keith hasn't won a duel on screen either. So basically, this is essentially a competition for the poleaxe my microphone stand a little bit. A battle for the first on-screen win. But even then, especially thanks to Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series, these guys do still have their fans. So there we are. They're healing. I think that means that Barrel Dragon has wound up. It's used one of its red medicines. Let's check. Yep. So I should probably heal my team, but then I've got an idea. I've got a good idea. I'll probably have to quickly use the healer to try and top everything up, because I might be able to take the fight to Bandit Keith. And if I can do that, I actually get an advantage because I'm out in the wastelands. If I use my opportunities to heal my team, we might actually go alright, and then I can dish out a good follow-up. Depends if I get to attack next, though. Urubi's running out of red medicine too. This is... yeah, I can at least replenish my healing items. So, okay, next one's going to be healing. And that's it. Slot Machine is out of red medicine. Alright, Launcher Spider's out of commission, which means I should probably start to target Launcher Spider. Alright, let's switch target, and away we go. It's got a little easier now, but... ooh, that's good, that's good. So... now, Launcher Spider is completely at my mercy. Slot Machine can't heal anymore, if I'm right. Yep, it's out. And the other two have no more AP. This is why high AP is a big advantage. Just gotta pile on the damage. Should be able to survive a couple of laser blasts. If I very quickly get my team healed, via the healer function, we can win this. Without making it a drawn-out war of attrition. Because I know my attacks aren't going to miss. On account of the fact... let's defend. Okay, so it decides to attack the defender. Good job. It hit, but minimal damage was dealt. And we got the points. Rex has nearly got another level up. Rightio. I don't think Rex's movement circle would actually fit out there anyway. So, look, let's just... we almost just have to put this on fast forward. Pendulum Machine made its international debut in Gold Series 4, reappearing in Millennium Pack. In Japan, it debuted in Volume 7 and reappeared a little more often. Pendulum Machine might look like it sports an extremely vicious attack given how its blade works, but it's not that strong in terms of raw stats, as you can see. Its main purpose in the manga was to demonstrate that machine monsters, or at the very least the ones Keith used, were protected against magical attacks, or other non-physical techniques. Guiltia the D Knight did nothing to this machine as a result of that. Aside from all that information, this machine actually received a figurine from the series merchandise long before it made its TCG debut. And there goes the battle! Thank heavens.
Start talking, Bandit Keith! Where's my brother? Where's Mokuba? Huh, how the heck should I know? Wait, why am I saying how the heck? It should be how the hell should I know? You better tell me what I want to know or I'm going to feed you to the monsters.
I couldn't be more serious. Your life is mine and I'll throw it away if you don't give me what I want. Bandit Keith, Kaiba's not lying. If you know anything, you'd better tell him now.
Alright. I really don't know where he is now. I was only hired to hold on to the kid for a little while. Somebody else probably kidnapped him. I handed him over to the guy that hired me a couple of days ago. At least he actually paid me pretty well, in American dollars.
Who hired you?
Scott from Sigvarth. Who else do you think was gonna hire him, Kaiba? Do you really think Yugi would be bothered kidnapping Mokuba? That wouldn't go down very well. You'd actually beat him for once. You really are stupid sometimes.
I should have known. That's the last straw. Do you hear me, Scott? I'm coming for you. Where's Mokuba now?
Scott took him and headed towards Sigvarth. I don't know where they went after that, honest. Though I can assume that if they're headed towards Sigvarth, they mostly went towards Sigvarth. You know, where the capital city is. It's the most defended place on the continent.
I think it's finally time to come up with a plan for taking Sigvarth.
Hang on, Mokuba. I will save you. I promise. Eventually. I mean, I usually get around to it eventually, but let's face it, you get kidnapped that much, you really do have a card you get punched each time you get kidnapped. Hope you get that free coffee and dinner soon. And you better take me along.
We also get these monsters, as I've explained. And they're pretty good, even if Barrel Dragon's AP kind of sucks. Oh boy, what a pain! But we got there in the end. Thank you very much for joining me. Until next time, when we have even more monsters to find, this is Red 2 returning to base.